guess I should first put in there make me think of blessings. Welcome in, Janice. Welcome in, Nathaniel. All right. Welcome in, Dustin. Excuse me. All right. Weird. Welcome in, Michael. Blessings be to you and to me. Welcome in, kind of wall. Oof. I'm all right. Oh, my water's in the front. I forgot. All right, it's time for another blessings. It feels like forever since I did a blessings. Thank you, Dustin. Welcome in, 1488 Scotsman. Hey, it's going as good as it can go, I guess. Hello from Colorado. So it looks like we got 12 minutes till 420. Is that your own little game, Blue? What are you doing? You so weird. You so weird. She just took the sheet off the bed and she was trying to like put herself underneath the sheet. She was a weird one. I thought she was playing with Kush at first, but like Kush is inside of his backpack. He's not playing with her. Oof. What, Blue? You're so special. You were so special, Blue. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. We're all gonna die. uh, I think that's the dumbest thing ever. There's only like two things that are inevitable in life, and that's death and poop. Everyone poops, and everyone dies. It's inevitable. It's a part of life. Oh, you finally gonna eat, Blue? I told you. I know you hungry. I know you hungry. Oh, that was nothing. 10 minutes to 4:20. Death and taxes, yeah, but I don't think taxes are inevitable. Taxes are stupid. All right, we shouldn't have to pay taxes. Death is definitely inevitable. No one can live forever, and everyone poops. You know. Not everyone pays their taxes, though. Just saying. Just saying. Some people avoid paying their taxes. Hell, rich people don't pay taxes. Not like us, anyway. Blessings be to you and to me. All those people out there that have a non-profit organization. Yeah. You know what I learned about non-profits? When I worked as the kitchen manager of a food kitchen, homeless shelter. The homeless shelter was a non-profit. Welcome in, Margot. And they would take half of the people that would stay there, residents, of the homeless shelter. If they were living at the homeless shelter, living on the floor, on a cot, okay, on a bed on the floor, not even like a mattress. Remember the old school mattress pads we'd have at school for nap time? They're pretty much staying on those. I know. I laid on one for many nights. If they got food stamps, the homeless shelter took half their food stamps. Okay. They said it was to pay for food and all this other kinds of stuff. But you know what the homeless shelter didn't buy? Ever? They never bought food. All the food that I ever had to cook was donated to us from like shelter type places, you know, like food banks. The person that was running the shelter, not the running the one underneath her, he would drive a truck out to a food bank to get food and bring it back to the shelter so I'd have food to cook. So we were getting donated food to cook for these people, and they were still taking half of their food stamps. Where did the money go? No one knows. But I tell you what, the person that was running the place, she was a wealthy looking lady. You know, she had a very nice house and a very nice car, and she was only there so many days a week, you know. Yeah, for real messed up, Janice. For real messed up. If you lived in that homeless shelter and you got food stamps, which if you're homeless, you're going to get food stamps. Everybody applies. Everybody gets approved, you know, if you're homeless. They take half your food stamps. But the one thing they never spent money on for that homeless shelter was food. At least while I was there. And I was there for a couple months. And I never once had a card that I can go to the store and buy food for the shelter. Never once. Everything I ever got was donated from like food pantry type places, or like people would come and drop off boxes of canned goods and stuff like that, and we would stock up the pantry. Oh, I tried, Janice. I tried. They don't care. They don't care. They're a non-profit organization, so they can do whatever they want to do. Yep. I agree. I agree. The only reason why I was there is because I was right out of jail, and I had to go and stay at the homeless shelter because I had no place to stay, and I had to be in that town as per probation. You know, I had to be in that town, and I did my community service at that homeless shelter. Yep. Yep, Janice, I agree. I agree. All right, I got 4 minutes to 4:20, so I'm gonna do another blessing because it feels like forever since I did a blessings. Welcome in, welcome in. But that's what I learned about non-profit. So that's what I think about every non-profit organization. Churches, huge scam. I'm not saying not to have your faith in religion or whatever, you know, but churches are a huge scam. Blessings be to you and to me. Any organization that makes you tithe a portion of your paycheck is a scam. I'm sorry. If they're really doing whatever they're doing because it's calling them, then they shouldn't have to drive a $50,000 vehicle and live in a super awesome 4 or 5 bedroom home, you know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. 99% of churches are scams. Nah, you can believe whatever you want. That's fine. We all are agreed to our own beliefs. Ooh, 1 minute to 4:20. Anyone who lives for free because he's a pastor or preacher or whatever, but I have to go out and work and give them 10% of my check so he can live for free, so he can go in on 1 day a week and preach. Sorry, that's a scam. So you can believe whatever you want, and I'll believe whatever I want. Blessings be to you and to me. You know, I'll do you one better. Bye. Bye, Felicia. Happy 420. By the way, from Colorado. Eh. Happy 620. I ain't worried about trolls. I say what I say, and I say what I mean. I mean what I say I mean. Said that backwards. By all means, have your beliefs. Believe in whoever you want to believe in, okay? That's why they're called your beliefs. You're allowed to have them. No one but yourself should influence your beliefs, okay? But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I am okay with preachers and priests and all these other godly people, you know, that live off of other people. They don't actually work. They don't have to do anything. Except for 1 day a week tell you got to tithe or you're going to hell. But they show up in Armani suits. And freaking, they drive fancy cars and they live in fancy houses. And they don't have to worry about food and where their next meal's coming from. No, I'm sorry, that's a scam. That is a scam. No, if I don't tithe, you don't get to drive your freaking Lexus, or you don't get to wear your Armani suit. That's what happens if I don't tithe. Sorry, not sorry. I don't believe in 99% of the non-profit organizations out there, okay? They claim to help people, but usually they don't. They get all this money, and then like the people that are supposed to get help from these people never get the help they're supposed to get. You know, not as advertised anyway. I believe it, Dustin. And you know why? Because he got paid to do whatever he wants to do. But isn't gambling a sin? You know? That's what they tell us. Exactly, Janice. My point exactly. I too have gone to places like that and gotten turned down. Like, I mean, instantly. No, we can't help you. No. Mm-mm. So what? Why should I freaking tithe a 10% of my check every single week? It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. You know, I mean, if all these non-profit organizations were actually non-profits, you know, they weren't making anything, then the people that work there would not be driving around these fancy cars and they wouldn't be living in these suburban houses. You know, like these people are not poor. These people are not barely making a living. No, these people are living comfortable from a non-profit organization. Like, how are you getting paid if it's non-profit? Who's paying you? You know, if it was non-profit, everybody would be volunteering. And any money raised would go to the people it was raised for, like victims of hurricanes or fires or tornadoes or like people in need, you know. But no, no, most and like I'm making up percentages off the top of my head. I don't know percentages, okay? I'm just making a percent. I say 99% because I don't believe in those freaking like nonprofits organizations. I mean, there might be one or two of them out there that are actually doing or trying to do some good, but exactly, Janice. Those people, all those freaking Sarah McLaughlin commercials, you know, in the arms of the angel, you know, all that crap. For just 53 cents a day, you can help these starving children. All that garbage. Oh, I absolutely hate those commercials too. Trust me, I make fun of them all the time. You know, I used to do it on my channel here. I'd be like, in the arms of an angel. You know, for just one small like and click of a button, you can subscribe to my channel, and it's free. It won't even cost you a thing. And you can support a small YouTuber like myself. It's just ridiculous. Okay, in my opinion, all that stuff is just garbage. Okay, there's somebody at the end of the freaking tunnel collecting all this money from these nonprofit organizations, and it's going to someone, but not where it should be going. And I'm talking about like it's as low as the freaking homeless shelters, you know. I quit going to the food pantries out here, and like I'm sorry to say this, but they're handing out expired food because that's all they got out here is expired stuff. Like it was expired breads, expired canned goods, and stuff like that. I was like, I'm good. I don't want it anymore. You know, I want to support the Red Cross and the because like they used to help us, but at the same time, I don't think they do the same stuff anymore. Like they don't help anymore like they used to. But I can remember, like, after hurricanes, seeing Red Cross helping out and stuff like that, handing out food and water. So that is an organization I would want to support, but I don't think they're the same anymore. You know, like I think they're now just like every other nonprofit organization. They don't give out this help, and they just collect money. Same thing. Salvation Army. I truly would love to help the Salvation Army because they help me in times of crisis. But I don't believe they're the same anymore. Oh, right away, Miss Struthers. Right away. Sorry. Sorry. It's like a nervous tick. You got me there, brother. You got me. I mean, that's cool and all, Janice. I mean, again, for every non-profit organization that's actually trying to help somebody or do something, whatever they say they're supposed to be doing, you know, and they're actually doing it, the person behind the nonprofit's not living in $1 million home and a freaking driving a freaking Lexus down the street or something, you know, like flashy cars and all this other crap, then so be it. But I don't believe in most of the freaking nonprofits out there because usually somebody's profiting big time off of whatever they're saying they're doing. Like, I just don't understand how so many people can get away with doing what they do, you know? I just look at things and I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good. That's probably a scam. I know, Marco. It's only 4:30 for me. Janice is in New York. Yeah, no, I mean, if I make somebody upset because I say something about a nonprofit organization, then so be it. I don't care if I make somebody upset anymore, you know? I'm at a point in my life, you're either going to love me or you're going to hate me. It is what it is. And on top of the whole, everybody donating to these nonprofits and whatever, they get tax breaks. And I mean big time tax breaks, tax exempt tax breaks. They don't pay taxes at stores. They don't pay taxes on anything because they're non-profit organizations. So that huge Lexus they driving around or whatever kind of car they got, you know, that fancy schmancy car, whatever they don't have to find on Craigslist because they went to a dealership and got it, you know, kind of car. Could be a freaking Chevy, I don't care. Call it a modest vehicle if you want. It's still 30 something $1,000 for that vehicle, $40,000. It's a complete write off. It's not only tax free, it's a write off, and your money paid for it if you donate it to that nonprofit organization. But I'm sorry, but a $30,000 vehicle is more than I make in a year if I had a full time job making minimum wage here in Colorado. You know? So I think it's kind of bullcrap that these non-profit organization people, these church priests and preachers and stuff, get to live these luxurious lifestyles, and they don't have to lift a finger to do work. They're just as bad as the athletes that get paid millions of dollar contracts to go out and play football or basketball or whatever else, They're overpaid. That's guaranteed. You telling me that you couldn't get $100,000 in a year and that's not enough? I don't make $40,000 a year working a full-time job, busting my butt 24/7, like at the job, Barely getting days off. If you get 2 days off a week, you're lucky, and you're even more lucky if you get holiday pay and stuff like that, because a lot of jobs nowadays don't give you holiday pays. They don't let you get time off. You make like $8 an hour in some of these places. Less than 30 grand for the year. And these athletes are complaining because they're not getting over $1 million in contracts or whatever to play. It's bullcrap, So this is one of the reasons why I don't really watch sports and stuff. I don't care to watch that crap because it's ridiculous. They're super overpaid for doing nothing, playing a game. Oh, it's dangerous. They can get injured. Yes, so can I. Why am I not getting paid $1.2 million a year to freaking drive a bus or work in a freaking oil field or do whatever? No, we're getting crap pay. No matter what job you're getting, like you can have the best paying job. Like you can have a job paying $4,000 a month, okay? And this would be this is like guaranteed one of the best paying jobs out there. That's $1,000 a week. That's super high, good paying money. $4,000 a month times 12 months is how much? Think about it. It's only $48,000 a year. It's not even $50,000 a year, and that's $4,000 a month. That's $1,000 every effing week. Guaranteed, you're not making that minimum wage. That's super good paid money. That's $20-something an hour kind of job. $22 an hour type job. That's really good money. You got to have a degree in some kind of bull crap or whatever to get a job like that. So that the highest paying job is $48,000 a year. Not highest, but the higher paying jobs is like $48,000 a year. And these athletes are complaining because they're not making 1.5 mil or 2 mil or 3 mil. You're like, what the F, Like, dude, you can get 100,000 and you're still making more than the higher, like one of the highest paying jobs I know out there. $22 an hour. That's like the most I've ever seen offered in a job. Like 22 an hour. And that was like for store manager or something kind of deal. It's ridiculous. This is why I don't watch. Again, why I don't watch sports, because it's like they're pansies. Oh, it's a dangerous. They can get hurt because they're playing a sport. We played freaking football in high school and college and freaking little league and stuff. Like It's just as dangerous in high school as it is in the freaking pros. You're gonna tell me you're not hitting as hard as we were hitting? Bullshit. You don't think we were giving it our all? What did we get? We didn't get no freaking $1 million contract. We didn't get $1,000. We didn't get $100. We didn't get no money. We might have got a trophy if we freaking beat our rivals out, you know? When I played, it was fun. It was a game. It was fun to play. But the whole pro scenario stuff, you know, all these bitchy little athletes bitching about not getting paid enough. Go suck your thumb and cry in a corner, for crying out loud. I'd give anything, you know, to have a full-time job that paid me more than $50,000 a year and not have to bust my ass, you know? Like, I mean, fully bust your ass. I've only had that kind of job once in my life, okay? I got paid $2,000 every 2 weeks, and I was a caregiver. I had to look after somebody 24/7. If they needed lift up, they needed help taking a shower, they needed food cooked for them, whatever it was, I had to do it. And I didn't get paid 24/7. I only got paid so many hours a week. You know, if I would have got paid every freaking hour, holy shit. I only got to claim like 40 hours a week. But I had to look after this person 24/7. And anything they needed, I had to do. If they needed a ride somewhere, I had to give it to them. If they needed to, like, I don't know, whatever, you know? If they needed it, I had to do it. I mean, it was good pay, okay, but it was really taxing. And I bet you don't make $50,000 a year, brother Dustin. I'll be shocked if you make 50,000 a year. Really, Blue? Let me go look and see if somebody's outside. I heard a door. Calm down. Calm down. What are you gonna do, huh, Blue? What are you gonna do? You're so small. What are you gonna do? Nobody's out there. You lucky. What if it was an intruder, Blue? Huh? What if it was an intruder? What would you do? You see? You just got scared because I moved the heater. Oh, you got to power up now? You finally gonna eat? So you can take on the intruder? Yeah? That's what it took. That's what it took to get her to take on the intruder. To go eat, you know? She's got to think there's an intruder in there. Now she's gonna go eat. She's She's got to bulk up to protect herself. Thank you. That's what I'm saying, brother Dustin. I mean, you didn't have to reveal how much you made. I'm sorry you put that on there. But I'm just saying, like, I just, and you work a full-time job, you bust your ass. I bet it's not like just like a sit-down desk job or something. I bet you're actually working. And that's a high-end paying job, dude. Like, I mean, that $18 an hour, that's good money. Around here, you won't find that. The best that I found around here was, I think, $15 an hour. That's about what I made doing DoorDash. And my car just can't handle driving that much anymore. It's like 6 to 8,000 miles a month driving with DoorDash. But no, I'm just saying, like, it's ridiculous how expensive things are in this country, in this world, life, whatever you want to call it, and how little we actually make for a living. But these non-profit organization people are driving a car that costs what you make in a year. They're living in a house that costs 4, 5, 6, 7 times that. 8 times, 9 times that, 10 times that. $400,000 homes. Acting like it's nothing, like it's no big deal. You know? Give me 10% of your money, please. See? I believe that. I believe that 100%, brother. That's why I personally, okay, look. I like putting the thing up saying, look, make me take a blessings, $5, blah, 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 like, get claw machine try, $5, stuff like this. But I also like when people win so that they have a prize. And I like selling candy because I'm getting to sell a product to you for a certain price. I am definitely a profit organization. I will make profits off of whatever I receive. I'm not going to lie to you about it and tell you I'm not making profits off of it. No, I'm making profits. when you buy my candy, that's how I make a living. When you buy my freeze-dried ice cream, my freeze-dried fruit, my freeze-dried candy, my wonky bars, anything made by me, a t-shirt or a hoodie, any of that stuff, a beanie, any of the stuff that I pre-order and you guys get, all that stuff. I make a little bit of profit off of it, yes, because this is how I make a living. I'm not gonna lie to you and say, well, I don't make anything off. No, I do, because that's how I make a living. You have to. If this is what you're gonna do, you have to. But I definitely don't support most of the non-profit organizations out there, because usually it's somebody sitting in a corner, collecting all the money that they're collecting, and it goes to nobody but them. And look, I come from a really small town, and in Louisiana, houses are a little cheaper than out here. So the house the preacher that I used to have was living in was probably, I don't know, $200,000 maybe for the home. And they also had a trailer that for like the youth pastor to live in too, which is kind of weird. But he would come out in these three-piece suits, you know, like super fancy suits, and he had a different suit, you know, for like every other Sunday. He every Sunday he had a different suit on, you know, like so if he had any kind of thing to go to, he had a different suit for that, you know, like so he had like, I don't know, 10, 15 different suits that he would wear. All I saw was flashy, you know. The most I could do at the time, and this was a high paying job, was $10 an hour. So I'd make about, I don't know, 19 grand a year. Not 19 grand. Yeah, about 19 grand. Maybe 20 if I was lucky, you know. I couldn't afford that many suits or a car as fancy as the car he drove. And all he had to do was show up and preach. One day a week. Maybe two if he had to do it on a Wednesday too. You know, oh, he had to work 2 days a week. But he never had to worry about food, you know, or if he was gonna have to like be able to get food or afford it. No, that was all paid for. I don't know. It drives me nuts how many people are out there that, you know, just get thousands upon thousands of dollars just handed to them, and they don't have to do a thing. Maybe play a game here or there. Like those football players that get $1 million contracts and whatnot, how many games a week do they play? Bet it's less than one. And even then, they're just playing a game. It's not nothing special. Or not anything special, sorry. Not nothing would be something special. That's two negatives, double negative. It's not anything special. It's just playing a game. It's not doing anything significant. It's not helping anyone out. It's like these actors, you know, like I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad that they're actors and they're making movies and stuff like that. But they're complaining about not getting enough millions of dollars to make a movie. Seriously? Right, Janice? I should be a pastor in the Church of Mary Jane. In nomine Padre, Filii, Spiritus Sancti. Amen. And it'd be like blowing out smoke. Or instead of in nomine Padre, it'd be nomine Madre, because Mary Jane would be the mother. In nomine Madre, e Filii, e Spiritus Sancti. Watch. I'll actually show you uh, the full incantation, if you will. Gonna be a blasphemer right now and piss a lot of people off if they see this. I don't care. En nomine Madre, File, Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Blessings be. Woo! Those are good blessings. Oh, I know Dustin busts his ass at work, Janice. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, you know, like as an actual worker, I mean, everyday Joe Blow worker, that's what I am too. Whenever I have a job, you know, if somebody wants to hire me, I'll work, you know. I have to bust my ass to barely make enough to survive. I can't afford no $400,000 home. Hell, even making $15 an hour, I don't make enough to even qualify for something like that. Making $15 an hour, I barely make enough to qualify to rent an apartment in Denver at $1,200 a month. Actually, no, I made more than that, and I barely qualified. I want to say I was making $19 an hour whenever I was working as a shop foreman in a closet company, making cabinets and pantries and stuff. And I was making like $19 an hour. Dude, that was good money, like really good money. And I barely qualified to rent a $1,200 a month apartment for probation in Denver. Much less some fancy schmancy freaking $500,000 home. Or get a car for that matter. Get approved to like buy a car off the lot or something. That doesn't work. You know, you don't make good money because even with a good paying job, you still freaking, you know. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I built my bus so that I didn't have to pay so much a month to live, you know. I pay a third of what everybody else in Denver pays pretty much to live. Oh, excuse me. And I'm still struggling. Luckily, I live as cheap as I live because if I didn't, who knows what kind of shape I'd be in right now. I hear you, brother Dustin. But hey, look, on the days you don't have to do a lot, you take those for like, I fully understand. You take those and you enjoy them. Because on the days that you are busting your butt, you know, like 20 to 40 tons of steel, that's a lot of steel a day. I'm sorry, that's a freaking bag busting job. We should be making a lot more. But then the cost of living goes up and everything else goes up even more. Ain't that some stupid crap? I'm sorry, the cost of living shouldn't go up because we make more. I feel like we shouldn't be spending millions of dollars on athletes and actors. They should be getting hundreds of thousands of dollars. Sure, okay? They're awesome actors. They're awesome athletes. Cool beans. Give them $100,000 a year. That's double what I make. Why is that not good enough? And that's working a freaking, that's over double what I can make a year, working a freaking 20-something dollar an hour job. Right, Brother Dustin? Right? You should be making $1 million a year. Your job is dangerous, right? You could die. Things could happen. Anything can happen in that steel shop. Guaranteed. You gotta wear PPE. That steel gets hot. Tell me it's not more dangerous than throwing a pigskin around. Shooting a freaking basketball at a basketball hoop. All right, well, congrats, Steven. At least you're still up to 50. You're still $7 in the profit. But, you're not getting $1 million a year. No, you're getting quite a bit less than that. Quite a bit less. Let's just see. 9 point... A lot less. Hold on. I want to know exactly the number now. 1 million minus 40,000. Oops, too much. Yeah, $960,000 less than those athletes that are just throwing a freaking pigskin around, or playing playing basketball or playing baseball or whatever freaking sport they're playing, be it football, soccer, whatever. But they're getting upwards of $2 million, to play these games. Same thing with actors to be in these movies, and they're only working, they're only in the movie. The movie takes about 16 weeks to shoot, give or take, couple months. And they're getting multi-million-dollar contracts for these movies that they're acting in. Well, I'm still saying, Brother Dustin, you can cut yourself, you can hurt yourself. If you're fabbing still, you got to cut it. Like you said, you're cutting it and you're fabbing it. Okay, that means you're welding. It gets hot. You can get hit with slag. It means you can get burned. Same thing when you're cutting it. You're using a torch, right? And a acetylene torch. You're cutting through that steel. That's hot acetylene. That steel's getting hot. You can get burned. I mean, your job's a lot more dangerous than throwing a freaking pigskin around. Just saying. But these athletes out there and these actors out there and all these other billionaire type people out there, are bitching about not getting enough millions of dollars for whatever they're doing. Why can't they be okay with $100,000, $200,000 or something, I don't understand. I don't understand why it's got to be there bitching because they're not getting a $2 million contract to play a football game. Where they go and play once a month or some crap. It's I don't know. I feel like in America we cater to the wrong crowd of people. We don't cater to the hardworking Americans that are busting their ass, day in and day out. And I know I've worked my fair share of hard jobs, out in the oil field, as a welder. I was a welder at a freaking awning company. I was a welder at a grain grinder company here in Colorado. and I welded together sump pumps and grain grinders. I did tungsten welding for the blades that go on the grain grinders to grind the grains up in the big machines that we put together. And look, I got burned a lot. I lifted a lot of weight. I cut the tip of my finger off, you know, on a pallet, putting a pump sump on a pallet. The strap snapped and cut the tip of my finger off. I fully think that job was a hell of a lot more dangerous than someone who plays football. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I think that job's a hell of a lot more dangerous than someone who plays baseball or basketball or soccer or whatever sport it is. For anyone who acts in a movie, I'm sorry, but my job was way more dangerous than yours. Why does the stunt double get a hell of a lot less than you as the actor in the movies, you know? The stunt double's doing all the work. Well, look at you, Mr. Fancy Pants McGee. I'm just joking, Dustin. I'm just joking. Oh, shit. When I worked for the awning company, we welded our steel together, our aluminum and steel together, and we cut all of our stuff ourselves, you know. Torches and, you know, like you cut it with an acetylene torch. You know, piece it together. But I'm just saying, 90, I can't go with percentages again that I don't really know. But most jobs out there are not easy jobs, okay? Most jobs are labor intensive. They're out in the elements, you know, like you said, if you're out in the heat, you're out in the cold, either or sucks. Unless you're inside in a desk job where you don't have to lift the freaking thing, you're sitting down all day long. You know, most jobs are difficult. In one way, shape, or form. Something's going to be difficult about the job. Either you're dealing with the elements, you're dealing with lifting a bunch of stuff, you know, like it's a labor intensive job where you're actually doing a lot of work. You might be dealing with some kind of danger element, like if you're a welder, you're dealing with slag falling from the welding or whatever, because it doesn't matter which way you're welding, standing up, upside down, you're dealing with slag shooting everywhere from the welding, you know. And I've had slag like go down my welding jacket before, and you're wearing all this protective leathers and stuff, you know, you're wearing your leathers, but it doesn't matter. It gets in there, and then all that protective equipment that you got on becomes a death trap because the molten magma lava steel that's freaking inside of there is trapped between you, your skin, and the freaking leathers that you got on. So then you gotta freaking struggle to get the leathers off so that you can get the burning steel off of your skin. Either be it on your back, chest, down your boot. I mean, I've had like the slack fall off and like go down my back before, my down my chest before. Like I've had it pop in my helmet before, you know, in my shield, like where it popped through my shield like that, and boom, 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 and I see this little freaking bead bouncing around. Luckily, it didn't hit me in the eye. It went around the shield where where my viewing plate was. Well, that's awesome, brother Dustin. I'm really glad y'all are accident free. Accidents suck at workplaces, you know. No one should ever be rooting for accidents. But I'm just my point is, that most jobs out there are more dangerous than these sports, and yet we make a fraction of what these athletes are making, a fraction of what these actors are making. I would never, I can't even imagine if ever making $1 million in 1 year, much less my life. Maybe over a lifetime, if I'm lucky. Let's see how many years it would take me to make $1 million and have $1 million. Okay, now to make 1 million and have 1 million are two different things. Okay. 1 million divided by what I can probably get is like $28,000 a year. So we're gonna do $28,000. It would take me 35.71 years, so almost 36 years, to make $1 million. Now that's not having $1 million. That's only making $1 million. To have that $1 million, it would probably have to be, holy cow, because you got expenses. So let's say out of that $28,000, you might have $8,000 profits to yourself. Okay, spendable money, expendable, spendable cash, whatever you want to call it. 20 grand is probably going to be your expenses for the year. Okay, and let me see here. I'm bare minimum living. I do 500 for rent, plus about 200 for electricity, plus 100 for insurance, plus 100 for my phone bill, plus, let's see, what else? Let's say I'm paying for food. I would say, would you estimate you do about $100 a week for food? $400 a month? Okay. And this is if I don't have any other expenses. This is my phone, my insurance, electricity, rent, and food. Bare minimalistic living. That's $1,300 a month. Okay. So 13 times 12 months. So $15,600. 28,000 minus 15,600 leaves me with $12,400. 1 million divided by $12,400. Whoops. It would take me 80.64 years, almost 81 years, if I never spent a penny on anything else but my phone, my food, insurance on my car. Now, granted, I can't put fuel in my car to go anywhere. This fuel's not accounted for. If I put fuel in my car to go back and forth to work, I'm screwed, because that's gonna dip into that 12.4. Depending on how much money I put per month for fuel. No other expenses. This means no alcohol, no marijuana, no nothing. No extracurricular activities of any kind, any shape whatsoever. And if I am, let's say, a member of a church or a non-profit type thing or whatever, and I'm tithing 10% of my income every week or whatever, so that's going to cut into it even more. So I'm going to get closer to that 100-something year mark to ever think about having $1 million in the bank. And that's if I live the most frugal lifestyle ever, and not buy anything extra, barely do anything, never leave the house, don't do anything, never, ever, ever. Never go on vacation because you can't spend that money, because that'll dip into your savings. That's if you save every single penny. It would take 81 years. to have $1 million saved in the bank. And these people are bitching about not getting enough millions of dollars to act in a movie or to play a freaking game. Come on. Come on. I'm supposed to live my life and do nothing, bust my ass every single day, slave my ass away at a job and do nothing. Never spend that money and hopefully don't die in 81 years of doing that job, you know? This is now 81 years of working at a job. You better hope you started soon. Because if not, if I started now, okay, I'm 38 years old. For me to see $1 million in my lifetime starting now, I would be 118 years old. 118 years old. I'd have to live to see 120 to have $1 million. And then what would I do at 120 years old with $1 million? All frail and crippled. Hopefully I was able to work for that 81 years, you know. I hate money. It's the dumbest thing in the world. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Money is so stupid. We never have enough. We never like it's never good enough. It's never enough. It's never the right amount or whatever, you know, like you get money, you're like, all right, I made a little bit of money, but then you got to pay somebody else. The little money I get, it goes to rent or something, you know. And then it's ridiculous, you know, like why am I paying $500 a month to be able to park my bus in a piece of property? That's it. $500 just to be able to park my bus here. And then I pay for rent, electricity too. There was a time back in the 90s, $100 would have got me a place at an apartment. Crying out loud. Less than that would have got me an apartment for a month. But for some reason, if we want to make more an hour, if we want to make more at work, the cost of living has to go up too. So now if I make more, I gotta pay more. That's the dumbest. Dumbest. Right, Brother Dustin? Same here. Same here. Be 120 years old and be like, oh, I finally have my $1 million. Yes. Just kill over. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have the right intentions or if you're like you're good-hearted or whatever you want to call it, you know, because like for instance, my goal on YouTube is to go around getting pieces of property and building tiny homes on the piece of property, okay, fully furnished tiny homes with electricity and water, and then giving them away to people that subscribe to my channel, you know, people that need them. Families that need a tiny house or something, you know. Whatever the case may be. Not in my town, Michael. Bologna is a hell of a lot more. They want like $7 a freaking pack of Bologna in my town for the same pack. I know it's baloney. Oh, what, Blue? You good? Huh? What? What? You being special, baby girl? You being special? You are special. You are special. Yes, you are. No, it's the dumbest thing in the world that if I want to get paid more, I gotta pay more. So what's the point? You know? What's the point of getting a higher paying job if I gotta pay more for getting a higher paying job because the cost of living is gonna go up? And now my gallon of milk that's already $5 a gallon for a gallon of milk. Ridiculous. My gallon of milk's gonna go up to $10 a gallon because I'm getting $20 an hour now, minimum wage or some crap. Why? I don't understand that. I don't understand it. You know, we could pay these athletes and these actors and like people like that millions and millions of dollars, and we don't bat an eye at it. We're happy to do it, apparently. And the cost of living doesn't go up for them. The cost of living goes up for us. No, not for paying athletes. But God forbid if we want to pay the workers of the country that are actually working. Welcome in, Lori. Have a blessed night. Appreciate you dropping the like. I mean, just if we paid our workers like we paid our athletes and didn't expect the cost of living to go up, you know, holy cow, could you imagine? I mean, if we just got, I don't know, yeah, like eggs, $6 a dozen. It's ridiculous. Makes no sense. For freaking eggs. I'm at the point where I want to get chickens. Put a coop outside, you know, and just have me 3 or 4 chickens and have them lay eggs, you know. Screw it. Feed the chickens and get free eggs. The feed is cheaper than the eggs at this point. It's ridiculous. I don't get it, you know? Why we can't pay the workers of America better, you know, and not charge us more to live. Stop paying the athletes and the actors these millions of freaking dollars in contracts and crap. You know? Pay them a reasonable freaking like contract. Couple hundred grand. You can't tell me a couple hundred grand is not enough. like come on. $200,000 is 4 years' salary for a high-paying job in America. That's not enough for one movie or one little season of whatever you're doing, you know? Like, come on. As if. That makes zero sense to me. I feel like the money that we're paying athletes should be dispersed into the workforce. Yeah, no, nobody's egg should be $10 a dozen, Michael. Nobody's egg should be $6 a dozen. Nobody's egg should be more than like $2 a dozen. Hell, when we used to get them at the farm, we'd go to the place where you get eggs, you know, like people that sell eggs. They wouldn't sell them at freaking $2 a dozen. They'd be like, give me a buck, give me $1. I'll take $1. There you go. Here's a dozen of eggs. They usually had way more eggs than they could count, you know? Like, they're like, I got plenty. I don't care. Here's a dollar. Dollar for a dozen. Buck 20. And you were getting them for 10 cents an egg, you know? Usually it was cheaper than that. 50 cents for a dozen, you know? Neither am I. Neither am I. I have eggs in my fridge right now. I'm hoping are still good. I kind of want to make cookies in the next day or two, maybe. I don't know. It depends if I can get my water to thaw out so I can do dishes and not have a crap ton of dishes piled up with no way to wash them. So I don't feel like a slob, you know, because I already have a couple dishes right now that are sitting in there, and I have like 2 or 3 plates that need to be washed, and a pot that needs to be washed, and a bowl that needs to be washed, and I'm feeling dirty because it's been 2 days now that the water's been froze over and I can't get to my dishes. You know, it sucks. I want to do stuff like bake cookies and other things with you guys, but I can't dirty a bunch of dishes and not have a way to clean it. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I already feel dirty right now when I got just a couple dishes in there. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think if we treated our workforce half, a third, hell, a quarter as decent as we treat the movie industry or the freaking athletic industry, then our country would be so much better. Everyone would be a hell of a lot happier to show up to go to work. Guarantee you that. Look, if I knew I was gonna get $250,000 to show up and weld a bunch of shit together, I would show up with whistling every day. Ah, it burns, you know. That's okay. That's okay. 250K. You know, I mean, hell yeah, I'd show up whistling. And that's only $250,000. Yet we pay these athletes and these actors multi-million-dollar contracts and stuff to do what they're doing. And they're bitching because it's not enough. Like, we have actors that turn down movie roles and stuff because they're not going to pay me enough. I'm so-and-so actor. I deserve more than that. I want more than $15 million to do a movie. Are you kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? It's insane. We idolize the movie industry and the sports industry, and I don't know. I don't know why we do it. I really don't know why we do it. Everybody's struggling. Nobody makes enough for a living as a job, but yet we have a team in every state. You know, so that's what, 50 teams on the football roster. I don't even know. I'm just talking football too at this point. And there's at least one player on the team that gets a multi-million-dollar contract. At least one. Now, I'm not saying that's not all of them because most of them are getting several $100,000 a year or whatever, you know, for their contracts. We got NASCAR drivers and freaking the money that goes into some of those NASCAR drivers or freaking the basketball players or baseball players or soccer players or hockey players or whatever, tennis. All these people are making millions and millions of dollars for being athletes and playing a game. But we're out here as hardworking men and women, like busting our ass to make 40K a year. And we struggle to have a fun life, like we can barely afford to do anything. And that's if you got a good paying job. That's if you got a really good paying job, you're making about 40K a year. It's it's so stupid. So stupid. I don't understand why, burgers aren't still 10 cents, 5 cents, whatever they used to be. Why did the cost of living have to go up? Inflation, if they will. Why? Why is there inflation? Why does it have to be inflation? Doesn't cost any more to make the stuff. It's still the same stuff coming out. If there wasn't said inflation, it would still be the same price. It's not costing more for the electricity. It's still the same electricity. It's still the same fuel. Can't tell me it's not. It's millions of years old. It's still the same fuel coming out of the ground. Doesn't cost any more. It only costs more because somebody said it should. Somebody came up with an inflation or whatever. It's bullcrap, is what it is. It's bullcrap. A dozen of eggs should be a quarter or 50 cents something. Less than that even. Meat, all that other stuff should be cheap like it used to be in my grandpa's day. Should be. We're only paying more because we're going along with whatever stupid line we're falling in. Somebody said one day, oh, we should charge taxes. And everybody went with it. So now we pay taxes, and it's a given. You pay taxes. You shouldn't have to. Taxes were supposed to be voluntary back in the day. Voluntary. Not mandatory. See how the two different words? There's a re at the end. But that's the only similar. The RY. Voluntary and mandatory is two completely different words. But yet now taxes are mandatory. You don't pay your taxes, there's federal consequences. You can go to jail, prison for life. Federal prison for not paying your taxes. I mean, taxes were voluntary back in the day. They were supposed to go away after like the First World War or something. There was just a voluntary relief for the World War or something. That's what I think I read. I don't know. I'm a little stoned, so I might be saying the wrong thing right now. But taxes were supposed to be voluntary. That's I know that's true. They weren't supposed to be mandatory. They were supposed to be you can pay your taxes if you want, to help the war relief. And they were supposed to go away after the said war was done or whatever. But no, now taxes are mandatory. Pay your taxes or go to jail. The fuck is up with that? So many things we do that just don't make sense. We just fall in line. We do what they tell us to do because they say to do it. Oh, you gotta do this. It's the way it's supposed to be. No, it's not how it's supposed to be. It was supposed to be a completely different way according to the laws and everything. But no, we now are mandatory to do taxes and other things, you know? Like, it's so stupid. The world we freaking live in, man. We gave a percentage of our paycheck to some imaginary person. For what? What reason? Because it definitely doesn't go to pave our roads or to fund our schools or any of that crap that they say it does. Because if that was the case, our teachers would be paid more. And our roads would not have so many potholes and they would be a lot smoother and better. All we're doing is lining the pockets of some federal government bigwig because we fell in line and paid taxes. But you know the weird thing is, you know, the most messed up thing is if as a nation, as a society, you know, if every single person just said, no, not doing it. You know how quick it would go away? Brother Justin, potholes are crazy nationwide. But yet our taxes are supposed to fix those potholes. That's what all these tax money is supposed to go towards. You know, paving the roads, paying teachers and other educators and other things like that, you know, like that's what a tax is supposed to pay for. But none of that gets done. None of it gets done. Doesn't matter what state I've traveled to. Woohoo! $2 for Monster, congrats. Doesn't matter what state I go to, you know, like it's potholes are crazy everywhere. Teachers are underpaid everywhere. Doctors are underpaid or whatever, apparently, you know. And I'm not talking about the ones that are freaking like super high paid doctors and stuff, because I'm talking about like the local nurses and medical employees that work at like the 24-hour clinics and stuff. They're super overstaffed, like understaffed and underpaid at a lot of these places. But if our taxes actually went to what they're supposed to go to, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, but our taxes don't go to any of that crap. Our taxes go to some government official that gets to drive some super freaking fancy car and wear super fancy suits and no worries, Dustin. I mean, it's ridiculous where our tax money goes to. Yeah, that's insane, Michael. Gas shouldn't be over $1 a gallon anywhere on Earth. Sorry, that's ridiculous. It's the same oil that came out of the ground. It's a million years old, billion years old, however old it is the same goddamn oil. It shouldn't be more than $1 a gallon anywhere on Earth. And they can't say it's that way because it costs more for the oil, because it's not that way. If you look at countries like Saudi Arabia and like Afghanistan and places like that, you know, overseas, that they have their own oil supplies and stuff, their gas is super cheap. They're paying like pennies on the dollar for their gas. Like, I'm talking about like 25, 30 cents a gallon for gas over there. They're not paying super like expensive prices like us for gas because it doesn't cost that much for the oil that's coming out of the ground. They have massive oil reserves over there, and they can do whatever they want. They charge pennies for their gas. And their economy's booming in some of those countries. Not all of them, but some of them. I mean, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. We pay so much because of inflation. I can't make enough to like at my job whenever I have like if I have a job. I don't have a job right now, but if I'm working full time busting my ass, I can't make but 40,000 a year. And because of inflation, third of that, fourth of that, no, maybe a half of that can go to like bills and whatever because of cost of living. Because it all goes up because I make more an hour or whatever. It's so stupid the world we live in. I mean, it's ridiculous. And if you stop and try to think about it, like the fact that we pay taxes on everything. And like, I'm not talking about just like the taxes we pay on our income taxes, the taxes we pay in the grocery store. Everything is taxed. Welcome in, Ken. Everything. We get taxed on the money we make, and then we pay taxes for goods that we buy. We get taxed if we buy property. We get taxed if we buy a car. We're taxed here, we're taxed there, taxes everywhere. If taxes didn't exist, we would have so much more money as a society. And this might sound stupid, but if we lived in let's say a medieval type society where you traded me gold coins or gold pieces for services or product or whatever, and you just came and gave me gold pieces. I say I want 10 gold pieces for this piece of meat. You give me 10 gold pieces, I give you a piece of meat. I put 10 gold pieces in my bag. I got 10 gold pieces. I don't give nothing to nobody. It's mine because I said I wanted it for that. If I do that every time and I don't have to give it to anybody, then I always have my money right there. But in the society we live in, I know, Ken, it's ridiculous. That's kind of one of the points I'm making. Like the wealthy actors and athletes, that make multi-million-dollar contracts and movie roles. They barely pay anything on their money. But as a poor man, I pay like 20% of my income goes to taxes. And then I pay taxes on everything that I buy. And anything that I touch gets taxed. Exactly, Michael. It's ridiculous. But the messed up thing is as a society, as a nation, if every single person out there would just stop and say, no, not doing it. You know how quick it would go away? We wouldn't have taxes anymore. Just saying. Just saying. But there's too many people out there that are making money off of our taxes and that tax bracket system or whatever that it would never work. Nobody would ever. We would not stop as a nation and say no and stop. Mm-hmm. for monster. We're the only we're the only species on Earth that pays to eat. You go out in the jungle and see the freaking lion paying the gazelle for a bite of his ass. Oh, here you go, my good sir. Here's a book for your ass. You know? No! You don't see the giraffe giving the tree $1 to take a leaf. We're the only society that lets money rule our lives. We're so stupid as a species, it's not even funny. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. It's we're dumb. Humans are dumb. We are dumb. Oh yeah, Michael? Woo, that's a steal. African coconuts, 4 for $1. Uh, I don't know, man. As a species, I'm embarrassed. Okay, if another species like in the universe came to Earth and saw us, I would be embarrassed to be seen by aliens or extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them, because we are dumb. We are dumb. We fight over oil and land. We murder over freaking stuff like oil and money. We're just dumb. As a society, as a species, as you would think that we would have evolved into something better, but no, it's like we're devolving. We're not evolving. We're devolving. I would definitely be embarrassed if extraterrestrials were watching us, looking at us. I definitely believe that there's something out there in the universe. I'm not going to believe that we're the only freaking planet, one in the billions of freaking galaxies and stars and whatever they have out there. There's no way we're the only freaking planet out there that has life on it. Come on. Does that mean that there's going to be spaceships flying around and stuff? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be advanced enough to make it to us and study us or whatever. But if they are, man, I'm embarrassed for our species because we're stupid. We're just bad. Oh, I believe it, Michael. But still, paying a quarter, it's still having to pay to eat. The fact that you had to pay to eat is still stupid. The fact that we pay to eat now is stupid. I don't know. I think food should be free, personally. Anything else, I guess, luxuries, if you will, you pay for it, but food should be free. We shouldn't have to pay for bread. We shouldn't have to pay for eggs. You shouldn't have to pay for garden grown veggies. You shouldn't have to pay for milk or meats. Food should just be free for anyone. Doesn't matter if you're wealthy or poor. You shouldn't have to worry about where your next meal is going to come from. Nice, Michael. Coconut's okay. I'm not a huge fan of coconut, but it's okay. I haven't had fresh coconut in forever, though. I've had it before in Louisiana where I drank the coconut water from the coconut, and ate the meat from the shell. And that was alright. It's not the same as like shredded coconut, it's a little different. But I truly believe that food should be free. We shouldn't have to pay to eat. Like at the grocery stores and stuff, you should be able to walk in, get a basket, and get what you need, put it in the basket, walk up, and they look at it and go, okay, it's just food. Have a great day. Now, I'm not saying go in there and take everything they have. You're only allowed to get so much of so many items per person or whatever. Like, if you got a family of four, each person's allowed so much beef. Each person's allowed so much milk. Each person's allowed so much veggies or whatever. You make an allotment for per person. And it doesn't matter where you're at, what status you have. You shouldn't have to have so many amounts of food stamps or whatever. You should just be able to walk in and you get your allotment of food. Bare basics. Pasta, bread, eggs, meat, milk, butter, cheese. The basics. Flour, sugar, whatever you need for, like, everything should be just a basics free. Here you go. No, Michael. A lot of food here is not the same as other countries. But, like, I should be able to walk into the grocery store and get an allotment of food. Every day I could walk in and get a pound of beef and a quarter gallon of milk or something, or something like that. You get like a third a dozen of eggs, 4 eggs. You're allowed 4 eggs a day, pound of beef, some potatoes, other veggies and whatnot. Like you're allowed so much a day. But I truly believe that everybody should be able to go in and just get your allotment of food. You shouldn't have to pay for it. The fact that we charge everyone for food is ridiculous. Now, if you want to go out to a restaurant and eat, then yes, you pay for that. Because you're paying somebody for their services of cooking the food for you, serving it to you, waiting on your table. but you should be able to go to the grocery store and get whatever you need to survive for you and your family and just go home. You shouldn't have to pay for it. We shouldn't have to pay to eat. It's literally a necessity. If you don't eat, you die. So if you're poor, F you. Like at the moment, I get food stamps. I'm not gonna lie. They give me $290 a month for food stamps. Tell me how that's feasible. Let's do the math on that real quick, okay? Because I did the math the other day, and I still can't work out how I'm supposed to make this work. I get $290 a month food stamps. Divide that by 30. That's $9.66 a day, okay? 3 square meals a day is what we're supposed to have as adults to survive, That's what they say in the doctors or whatever. 3 square meals a day. So let's divide that by 3. So it gives me $3.22 a meal. How am I supposed to survive off of $3.22 a meal? Like, who can make a meal off of $3.22? Anyone. Just anyone. I feel for y'all. Y'all get even less than I get. How is that enough? Food should be free. I'm sorry. A loaf of bread in the store where I live is $5. A gallon of milk is $5. Dozen of eggs, $6. Pound of roast beef, $12. I can't even make a sandwich for $3.22. A box of cereal is like $6 and some change. Fruit? Oh my god, don't even get me started. They want $7.75 for a watermelon that's this big. They want $6 for a pineapple. I think it's like $2 a pound for onions, dollar something a pound for bananas. It's ridiculous. It's like $6 a pound for beef, like ground beef, the cheap stuff. Chicken, super expensive. Yeah, Michael. So like I don't know how I'm supposed to make $3.22 work. Like I'm now okay. Like I'm working on the last of what's in my freezer right now. I've got a little bit of food in my freezer, but I have 2 weeks before I see any more food stamps on my card. 2 weeks. So I gotta live off of whatever I got in my freezer and the little bit of food that I got in my pantry for 2 weeks before I see more food stamps on that card. It's impossible. I end up spending like money that I make from here on YouTube, on food and stuff. I have to surplus the time that passes without the food stamps with money that I make from super chats or gifted memberships or whatever, and freeze dried candy that I sell. Ha! Michael, it's $10 a chicken at the store in town. 10 for a chicken, and they're not big. They're about that big. They're only a little chicken. $10 for a hot chicken. And if I go to Flying J to get a plate lunch, half a chicken, a scoop of mac and cheese, and a scoop of mashed potatoes, and not a big scoop, a little scoop, $15. And by the way, can't buy a hot chicken with food stamps card, just so you know. Hot chicken's prepared food, so you can't buy that with a food stamps card. That's not allowed. Yeah, not our chickens. Um, my chicken might be like 2.5 pounds at the store. I don't know. It's not no 5 pounds. I can sit there and eat that whole chicken in one sitting. It's not 5 pounds. I guarantee you that. As a matter of fact, I did it the other day for a freaking mukbang or whatever you want to call it. I sat down and ate almost a whole chicken, mashed potatoes, and mac and cheese because it wasn't that big. But I mean, it is what it is. The world we live in is screwed up. We jump in line and we do what they tell us to do. We pay people that don't do anything. We don't pay the people that do things we need. We're so screwed up as a society, as a human race. It's not even funny. Again, I would be embarrassed if extraterrestrials were watching down on us, studying us and whatnot. We would not make the Federal Galactic Council or whatever, to be approved for intergalactic travel. No way. No way. If that council existed, like in Rick and Morty and stuff, like if that actually existed, we wouldn't be approved. Nah. I could not see that happening for us. Like we're way too screwed up. We give power to a group of people to rule over us, you know, and act like it's okay. Watch me get canceled for this live stream for saying these. Uh, Hi, Kush. Hi, buddy. Am I taking too long on the live stream? Huh? Am I taking too long on the live stream? Kush has decided that he wanted to sit on my. Again, he just jumped up. He's like, hey, you're taking too long, Dad. I want food now. You're so special, Kush. You're so special. Apparently, I'm talking too much for Kush. Yeah, no, I don't know. We're screwed up as a nation. Much less as a human race. We're screwed up. We charge everybody for everything. We charge outrageous prices to live, to eat. But yet, criminals that are locked up get 3 square meals a day too. That's another thing. Criminals get 3 square meals a day and a place to sleep, and they don't have to worry about, where their next meal is going to come from. Is it good food? No, but it's food. It's food. Might not be the greatest, it might not be good, but it's food. And it's free. And it's free. Yep. Because it's paid for by you and me. Our taxes isn't, again, what's funding most of those prisons and jails and stuff. You don't know how many times I've thought about committing a crime just so I can go to jail? Just because it'd be free food and a place to sleep with no electricity bill, and I wouldn't have to worry about having a job. The reason why I don't is because I have animals, and I like my freedom of being able to go wherever I want and smoke weed. But if I could smoke weed in jail and bring Kush and Blue with me, psh, I'd go rob a bank real quick. I don't really want the money. I just want to rob the bank so I can go to jail. uh, get 3 meals a day. Blue and Kush would get their food too, because they get treated better than me. They're animals. I could take showers whenever I want. Have a bed to sleep in. Jail sounds really nice sometimes, you know what I'm saying? As a poor man, jail sounds really nice. So sometimes I wonder what I could do to just go in for a month or two, like just like small crimes, little crimes to just get me held over till I could find another job or something, you know. Can I go knock on the jail door and be like, "Hey, can I just come like stay for a little while?" Knock on the front door and be like, "Can I just get a bunk? I didn't really do anything wrong. I just want a bunk and some food." I'll be a trustee. You think they would do that if I went to the jail and knocked on the door and be like, "Hey, can I just be a trustee? I didn't like commit any. I just want to like get free food and a place to sleep." I swear, if I was homeless, I would. If I was homeless and I didn't have animals, that's what I would do. I would commit whatever crime I needed to go to jail, because jail would give you like free food and a place to sleep. Hey, look, brother Michael, I didn't say it was good or cool, but in the society that we live in, you would get more nutrients from eating free, crappy food at a jail by committing a crime than starving on the street because they won't help you. I'm just saying, if I was broke and homeless and I didn't have animals, I would commit a crime to go to jail just to get the free food and the place to sleep. And they give you hygiene stuff, they give you toothbrushes and toothpaste and soap and shampoo. That's mandatory. They have to. It's mandatory by the state. It's your right as a human being to get all these things. You get them in jail if you're a criminal, but not if you're a freaking human being out here on the streets in like real life. Our society is so bass backwards, it's not even funny. Like it's like you get rewarded if you're a criminal. I know it doesn't seem like that because you're locked up, but if you're on the streets, homeless and broke and poor, you don't get any help. We don't help our fellow humans. We help criminals. We help those non-profit organizations, that say they're helping everybody else, but they're not really. We help the churches, and we help the government, and we help like everything that shouldn't be helped. We help them. We help the athletes and the actors, and God forbid we help the actual people that work for this country to make it survive and live. Like the farmers and the truckers and all those other people. God forbid they actually made real money. What if we actually gave food out to people that needed food? We didn't charge for food, and everyone could eat, no matter what status of income you had. Because I'm absolutely at the bottom of everything right now for income status, and I'm getting the maximum allowed benefits for my food stamps at $290 a month. There's no way in hell I could live off of $290 a month, because I'm not at this moment in time. I'm not. 290 is about enough for about 3 weeks of food, and food stamps don't come in until the 8th of the month. So there's about 2 weeks in between food stamps that I just don't have money for food because they deemed I'm getting the most allowable help. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. And if I was working, let's say, a part-time job, that help would go away. The last time I had a part-time job when I was getting food stamps, I got, I think, $12 a month. That's what they told me. That was my benefit. My benefits, $12 a month. What are you supposed to do with $12 a month? That's not even enough to make a meal, much less last a whole month. Buddy, you need to go clean yourself somewhere else, buddy. I'm sorry. I love you. I love you, but you're not gonna clean yourself right now on me, okay? Sorry. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm always bitching, I'm always griping, complaining. But I've got no reason to not complain though. Like we live in a society that's effed up so bad. We're set up to fail. We're definitely not set up for success. Like, I don't know. Hold on. I want to do the math now because I'm trying to think. What if I lived in Denver and I had a Denver apartment? My rent would be $1,200 plus, let's say, $400 for food plus 105 for the phone bill plus 100 for insurance plus let's say fuel to go back and forth to work. If we're doing a 5 days a week, I'll say $40 a week, so that's 160 a month for fuel. got insurance, and then let's say electricity, another $200. So up to $21.65 a month for expenses to live, times 12. Okay, now this is the funny one, Dustin. If I don't know if you're still in the room, but remember we're talking about $1 million early and earning $1 million to have. I make about 28,000 a year. So if I was living in Denver, making about 28,000 a year, my expenses would be about $25,980. I would have about $2,020 spendable cash every month to put away. Okay, so let's do 1 million divided by $2,020. In order for me to save $1 million, it would take me 495 years to save $1 million in the bank. And that's bare minimum living in Denver. That's what the math says. 495 years. So yeah, I don't think I would ever see $1 million in my lifetime. Cool beans. Glad y'all still here. But yeah, I don't think, like, okay, like, make $1 million? Sure. I might make $1 million in, like, 40 years or 50 years or something, you know? But after paying expenses to live, because we charge for every freaking thing, yeah, at $28,000 a year, I could make $1 million in about 36 years. At a steady, 28,000 a year. Now, let's say I did 48,000. Oh, let's see. If I made $1,000 a week, 48,000 a year minus 26,000 for living expenses. That will leave me with $22,000 a year spendable money that I could save. So $1 million divided by 22,000 would still take me 45 years to save $1 million. And that's not spending a dollar on anything else. Never taking a vacation, never buying anything, no Netflix, no Hulu, no none of that stuff, you know. No spending money on Amazon, no buying any orders, no cat food, no dog food. This is just bare minimum living. It would still take 45 and a half years to save $1 million, according to the math right there. So even if I had the highest paying job that I could possibly get, I wouldn't see $1 million in my lifetime. Because let's face it, I'm not gonna go without spending money on something. I like going on activities and adventures and stuff, you know? Like I like scratching the cards, I like playing Pulse, I like doing something. But it's gonna be, you know, like I'm not gonna be able to spend like no money at all and just live as a hermit for 60 years, 45 years, or whatever. I don't know. If you get $1 million in your life, you're lucky. That's why I think these stupid athletes that are bitching about multi-million-dollar contracts, and these stupid freaking actors and actresses that are bitching about not getting enough millions of dollars to act in a movie or a TV series or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, because it's that's stupid. And they're talking about just this year. Some of these actors and actresses are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, I don't know. Who's an actor I should Google just to see how much they're worth? Um, I'm trying to think of what actor I should Google. George Clooney. We'll Google George Clooney. He's a very known actor. George Clooney net worth. He has a net worth of over $500 million. I mean, it's freaking Brad Pitt's a net worth of 300 million. Holy cow. Apparently, that's nothing. The richest actor, or actress, if you will, is an American actress called Jamie Gertz. And she has a net worth of $3 billion. Brother, again, you could have $1 million and never worry for the rest of your life. $1 million would cover you for the rest of your life from what you make now. Like, no offense, but we're rounding the 40s. Like, you're in your 40s, I'm almost in my 40s. We're not gonna live to see 150 years old. We might live to see 100. We might be cool and live to see 110, 120, like some of those old people. The oldest living person on Earth right now, I think, is like 118 years old or something. You know? So if we're lucky, we're going to get to live to see over 100, okay? So $1 million divided by 40,000 a year would last you 25 years. That would give you 25 years salary. For me, that would make me 63 years old. That would last me till I was 63. I can't even make $1 million in that time, in 25 years. But if you use the $1 million, you know, frugally, like, okay, $1 million would be your salary, 25-year salary for $40,000 for 25-year salary, okay? But if you take that, if you only take half that to live, okay? So you only need about 20 grand a year to live. So take that million and divide it by 20,000. That would give you 50 years worth of money to do living worth, like rent, food, bills. That's 50 years worth of life. That would put me at 88 years old. I could live to 88 on $1 million and be freaking... Good grief. Could you imagine what you could do with $500 million? Welcome in, Mr. Viral Boom. Like, I mean, dude, $1 million is a lot of money. I'm just saying, Ken. I'm just saying. $1 million is a lot of money. These actors and actresses and athletes that are bitching about not getting enough millions of dollars, they're full of it. They are full of it. I'm sorry. Not sorry. They're whiny little bitches. Our hardest workers in America don't make but about $48,000 a year. And they're bitching about not getting enough millions of dollars. Like, it's ridiculous. And as a nation, society, whatever you want to call us, we cater to those actors and athletes and people that, I'm sorry, they don't deserve that much money. Nobody deserves that much money. Nobody deserves that much money. You can give them a couple $100,000 a year. Give them $250,000 a year, okay? As an athlete, the best athlete in the world should only get about $250,000 a year. I'm sorry, not sorry. You gave me $250,000 a year, I'd be whistling tunes, show tunes to show up to work. Hell yeah! I'd be whistling Daisy. Or Dixie. Not Daisy, Dixie. Kush. Will you stop messing with your sister? You don't have to claw her underneath the sheets, buddy. Don't meow at me. You're being a butt. Well. I can do that too. Leave your sister alone. Quit being mean. But no, like, I mean, you can give those athletes and actors $250,000 to do those movies or freaking play in those football games or whatever. Welcome in, Cheap Scratch. Yep, Brother Dustin gifted out 5 memberships and you got one of them. Congratulations. But, like, I fully think we overpay these actors and athletes and all this stuff, for doing nothing. For acting. Or for playing a game. Where we sit here and we barely pay, like, actual hard-working people. Oil field workers. steel workers, welders, doctors, teachers, truck drivers, farmers. You know, all these people are making about 40K a year. 50 if you're lucky. And they're out there busting their ass 24/7. You know, some of them are 5 days a week, 2 days off. You know, like hard jobs, 12-hour days. It's ridiculous that we praise. Hold on one second, you guys. I gotta go deal with a cat here. What are you doing? Well, you're messing with your sister. You're doing things you're not supposed to be doing. You and me are gonna fight, mister. You might think you're El Tigre, house tiger, but we're gonna fight, me and you. Thinks he's all big and bad. Yeah, we gonna fight, me and you. Bring it on. I ain't scared of you, bud. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you. I will take you on any day. What you gonna do, huh? Yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing. Sorry. Oh, you think you're gonna sneak up on me? You ain't gonna sneak up on nothing. Sucker. Stay out of your sister's food. You got your own food. There's food in your bowl. I know this for a fact. I put it there myself. You did not eat all your food. No, you didn't. Yeah, cheap scratch. It's a bunch of bull crap is what it is. Yep, they all live above their means. Again, you could pay them $250,000 and they should be ecstatic. That's 5 years salary. 5 years salary for playing in a game or acting in a movie or whatever. We don't give our freaking hardworking like citizens that kind of money. We're sitting here striving to get a job that pays us something like 40K a year, 50K if we're lucky. You know, we're like, oh, I got a really good paying job now. I make about 1,000 a week. Oh, you want to fight? You want to fight? Rawr, rawr, rawr. I'll fight you. I'll fight you every day. Right here, mister. You ain't got nothing. 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 Rawr. Special. You're special. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous that we praise people like actors and athletes, and we shun workers like farmers and teachers and, you know, doctors and all these other hardworking Americans and other, not just Americans, but all around the world, you know. As a poor American, you know, like I can make minimum wage if I make minimum wage. Oh, I believe it, Mr. Viral Boom. I'm not saying that 40K is not enough. I'm saying that we are making about 40K a year, and we're that's what we're paying our highest paying jobs is about 40K, 50 if you're lucky. You know, that's a lot of money. That's not a little bit of money. I'm saying that's a lot of money. You know, That's what I'm saying. These actors and actresses they're so overpaid. If we gave them $250,000 to act in a movie, that's 5 years' salary. For what, 16 weeks of work? Come on. Come on. Exactly, Cheap Scratch. These people cared nothing about us. And if they ever had to live even remotely like we live, like I guarantee you, Mr. George Clooney, Kush. We do cushion boots. Go play. Leave your sister alone, bud. Be nice. Be a good kitty. You'll get food after I'm done being live. You know this. You've already got food in your bowl. Hell, I can see food in your bowl from here. Don't even start. Spoiled kitty. But, you get all the free golf you can stand. That's kind of cool, actually. I like golf. I like golf. No offense, there are some pro golfers out there that are paid a little bit too much too, though. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie. I can think of like two off the top of my head, Mr. Jack Nicholson and Mr. Tiger Woods. They are extremely overpaid golfers. Sorry, I'm sorry. Not sorry. You better chill, Kush. You're gonna go in the kitty backpack if you don't. But no, I mean, like 40,000 a year is a lot of money. That's what I was. That's one of the points I'm getting to. You know, that's one of our highest paying jobs is $1,000 a week, and that puts me at 48K a year. If I get $1,000 a week, and that's before taxes. After taxes, I don't make that much. No, I don't have that job anymore. That was the best paying job that I've ever had. And that was as a caregiver. I was a round the clock, 24/7 caregiver. And I was making $1,000 a week to do that job. And even at that job, that's the best paying job that I've ever had. That puts me at 48K a year before taxes. So why do we cater to these people that want multi-million-dollar sports contracts? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I think as a society, as a nation, you know, if we stopped catering to the actors and the athletes, and we started giving money towards like where it should go, we would just be a better society. If we all came together and stopped paying taxes, that would change a hell of a lot of stuff too. Quit funding the government so that they can make our lives even more of a living hell. Like that to me is the dumbest thing that we do. You know, is fund the government with our taxes, just so that they can rain down and make our life a living hell by imposing stupid laws on us and whatnot, on stupid shit. You know, like I don't get it. I don't get it. We lay down and fall in line when they tell us to pay taxes. And we cater to these athletes and actresses and actors and all this other crap, you know, to have extravagant lifestyles while we bust our ass 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 12-hour days, 10-hour days, however long days you got to bust your ass for. Working these jobs that are way more dangerous than these actors or athletes to make a measly 40K a year compared to them. No, it's not measly. It's a lot of money. 40K a year is a lot of money. I agree, Mr. Viral Boom. I agree. I think there's a lot of things in this country that we're doing so bass backwards. Nice. Not a huge fan of marshmallow peeps. I use I use them as my mascot for my peeps because I call everybody peeps. But I'm not a fan of the flavor of peeps. You know, like I bite into them and just meh. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, as a society, we should not be catering to the people we're catering to. We shouldn't be funding the government. For what does the government do? You know? They don't help anybody. That's for damn sure. There's so many things in our country that's wrong. Like food should be free. We shouldn't have to pay for taxes. Doesn't make any sense the way we live. You know, like you don't see animals charging other animals for food. The cost of living should not go up if we get paid more to work a job. You know, like we shouldn't. We wouldn't need to make like $15 an hour if we were still paying the same prices that we were paying in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know? But somebody deemed that there was this thing called inflation. And now everything costs more because they say it's supposed to cost more. But it still costs the same as it did back in the 50s to get that oil. It's still the same oil coming out of the ground. You know, the same crude oil going in to make this fuel. But yet now gas is $3 plus a gallon in most places instead of 50, 60 cents a gallon like it should be. You know? It's ridiculous that we live in a society where we can fall in line and just say, oh, okay, yeah, it costs more, so I'm just going to pay more, and that's okay. Like, it's ridiculous. And I truly believe food should be free. No matter what your status is in life, it shouldn't matter if you make $1 million a year or $10,000 a year or $5 a year. You shouldn't have to pay for food. I should be able to walk into the grocery store, you know, and the taxes that we pay should allow the grocery store employees to get paid from the taxes that we're paying out of our pocket, you know. All right, Mr. Vira Boom. Hope you have a blessed night. Like the taxes that we're forced to pay should pay the salaries of those grocery store employees. And then you should be able to walk in there no matter what your status is in life and get your allotment of food. Yeah, water should be free too. Water is included in food, in my opinion. Now, if you want alcohol, yes, you're going to have to pay for alcohol. You know, that's not a bare necessity to live. I'm talking about bare necessities. I'm not saying get marijuana for free. That's not a bare necessity. If I want marijuana, I got to pay for that. Okay? But food. You need food to live. You need water to live. If you want soda, you pay for that. Soda's not a necessity. I'm sorry. You want ice cream? Ice cream's not a necessity. That's something you pay for. But milk, butter, cheese, flour, sugar, water, eggs, bread, meat should all be free. And I'm not saying you should be able to go in there and take as much as you want, but you should get an allotment. Like every person should get so much. If you live by yourself, you should get so much beef a day. You know, a pound of beef a day, a quarter gallon of milk a day, 4 eggs a day, You know, a couple potatoes, whatever. You know, you should be able to get an allotment of food per day. And if you have a family of 4, then you get more than just a pound of potatoes or a pound of meat, a pound of whatever, you know? But I think you should be able to go to the store and just get an allotment of food. So much per person. Like if I walk in there, I should be allowed to get so much beef, so much milk, so much eggs, so much cheese. And there'd be a worker there that weigh out however much cheese I'm allowed to get, however much eggs I'm allowed to get, however much beef or bread, whatever the case may be. I just think food should not be something we have to pay for. Food and water should be free for everyone, no matter how much money you make a year, no matter how much money you have in the bank, no matter what your status in society is. Food and water should be free. We are the only species on Earth that charges each other to eat and survive. You don't see the antelopes standing around the freaking watering hole going, hey, you've had enough water. Come on, back it up. You need to pay me $5 more if you want to drink more water. You don't see the giraffes being charged by the trees to eat the leaves in them. You don't see the freaking lions being charged by the antelopes or the antelopes being charged by the grass or whatever, you know? Like, you don't see the animals being charged by each other to eat and survive. We are the only species on Earth that charges each other to live. Be it food, be it a place to stay. It's ridiculous. It's just flat out ridiculous that we do what we do. And then we sit here and wonder why people struggle and why people act the way they do and why people go crazy and why people are, you know, like robbing banks and shit and doing stupid stuff. Like, if I swear, if I didn't have animals and I wasn't living in my bus, if I was homeless, I would commit a crime just to go to jail so that I could get free food and a place to live for free, not have to worry about working. It's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm going to do a blessings and then say goodbye. I've been ranting for almost 3 hours over stupid stuff because it just doesn't make sense to me why we live in the society we live in and why we do the things we do. And yeah. I don't know. I lie awake most nights and I think about this stupid crap. About how I struggle to barely make any kind of money to survive. You know, the little bit of money I do make goes to somebody else so that somebody else could be happy. Blessings be to you and to me. Hope you all have a blessed night. And I hope you don't struggle so much. I know I struggle a lot. It is what it is. I'm kind of used to it by now. Maybe one day I'll get to the point where I'm not going to struggle and worry about where my food's gonna come from, or where I'm gonna live, or what's gonna happen. But for now, it is what it is. Hope you all have a blessed night. As always, blessings be to you and to me. Stay blessed, peeps. I'll see you next time.